Okay, so welcome back. This is video number 4, and we're going to talk about different WordPress learning management system plugins that are available to you. Now, obviously, there are tons and tons of ones out there, but here's just some of the top ones that are available to you. Now, let's be honest, choosing the right WordPress learning management system is crucial to your success. So really it ends up being your choice at the end of the day. So what you want to do is you want to take a look at each site, each plugin, what features they offer, and get an idea of what you want to do. Because what you want to do may be different than what I want to do or what somebody else wants to do. So you're going to know that better than anyone else. So there are some free ones out there, but here's the thing. Is it really worth it? Because the reality is that your site is important. And being able to set things up, accept payments, a lot of times you'll make that money back. That's obviously not a guarantee, but it's all about the experience. If you can create a better experience for people, like I said, the consumption rate is going to go up and they will most likely want to come back. So that's what I want you to do, is to look through the plugins that we're going to talk about in this video and ask yourself, is this what my students are going to enjoy? Don't even think about price right now. Just think about that right now. Okay, so there are about 5 WordPress LMS plugins that we're going to go over in this video. But the first one is one that we highly recommend that you get access to. And the reason why is because not only does it offer pretty much every feature that we discuss in this video course, but in addition to that, it also integrates into all sorts of membership plugins, into a lot of different other WordPress plugins that enable you to do much more, to make not just an online course, but a community that is engaging and that has gamification built into it via other integrations. And I'll show you that in just a second, but LearnDash.com. And as you can see here, it looks really nice. And actually, as of now, LearnDash 3.0 was just released, and it looks really, really nice. So if we scroll down here, you can kind of get an idea. You can sell your courses, you can drip feed content, you can deliver certificates, points, and badges to encourage learners, and you've got engagement triggers. So based upon different actions that the student takes, you can either message them automatically or do certain things. So that's nice about LearnDash. It's not just an online learning management system that accepts money and delivers your content, but it's just so much more than that. All right, so you can see you can create groups, you can manage learning progress, so you can see where the student is in terms of their learning path, what they've completed, and you can get reports as well that tell you kind of a bird's eye overview of everybody in your course. So if you scroll back to the top, you can click features here. And there's a lot of things here. You can do quizzing, advanced quizzing. You can create courses very, very easily. You got prerequisites that you can create. You have dynamic forums. You have gradebooks. You have course points. So you can award points for completing courses and unlock new ones. You got certificates and badges. This is the reason why we like LearnDash, is because it provides you with tons and tons of different features. You don't need to use every single one of them, but it's there in case you grow. And that's something to think about. As a business person, you need to think long term. So instead of thinking, okay, this is what I need now. Think about, okay, this is what I need now, but I can have the potential of growing, this site, this business to many different courses, to a community kind of thing. Now, before we talk about LearnDash and, how to integrate it with gamification and all of that, let me talk about the other WordPress plugins. And in fact, what I'll do is when I give you a LearnDash overview in the next video, we'll discuss that. All right. So the next WordPress LMS plugin is called Lifter LMS. That's lifterlms.com. And as you can see here, it says everything you need to create, sell, protect your online courses. So if we scroll down here, you can get an idea of what it offers. And like I said, what I recommend that you do is jot down what your vision is, or what are the elements and the features that you will need. So that's one. That's the second one. The third one is called WP Courseware, and you can get here by going to flyplugins.com/WP-courseware. Or you can simply go to google.com and type in WP Courseware, and you'll get this page. Now, WP Courseware has actually been around for a good amount of time. In fact, when WordPress LMS systems began to develop, they were actually one of the first few ones. So they've evolved a good amount over the years. Now, as you can see, they've got drag and drop, they got drip content, which is pretty standard nowadays. You can protect your courses, quizzes, you can manage students, you've got membership integration, and shopping cart integration. All right, so that's the third one. The fourth one, which is actually by WooCommerce, it's called Sensei. And Sensei is another WordPress plugin. Now, bear in mind that Sensei is not as feature-rich compared to LearnDash. It is feature-rich in the sense that it can provide a lot of different things like quizzes and the standard items. But beyond that, really, LearnDash really goes above and beyond. And of course, last but not least, we have Namaste LMS. That's namaste-lms.org. And this one says that it is free, but they have a free version, and of course, they have a pro version. So if we click on Go Pro, so Namaste LMS Pro version, you can create classes, you can assign teachers to the class, you can award badges, you can reorder courses, manage files. So a lot of basic elements, essentially. Now, if we go to other modules, you can kind of get an idea of additional plugins that are on top of the Namaste LMS system. So as you can see, it's fairly basic, and it might be something that you need. I mean, if you're low budget, you can do this first, but bear in mind that as you grow, it'll be a pain to switch. So that's why I say start with the one that really works for you first. It can be LearnDash, it can be something else, but stick with that first and think about it and review it and look at the features and see if that is going to take you, a few years or even 5 years down the road. All right. So with that said, let's move on to the next video. Okay, so welcome back. This is video number 6, and this is what we call the consumption boost. So we talked briefly about different ways to increase the consumption rate, but how can we increase it further? Now, before we can understand that, we need to talk about a big problem. All right, so one of the reasons that people stop in the middle of a course is that they are overwhelmed. Now, we talked briefly about this in the previous videos, but this is a big problem. People get anxiety. People get, stressed out when they get in the middle course and they think, oh, this is so much information. I'm getting information overload. They start to second guess themselves and they start to have paralysis analysis. They ask all these questions, which then prevents them from actually moving forward. So how can we combat that? So the best way to avoid this is by what we call drip feeding. Drip feeding content, the idea is simply to space things out so that people receive video 1, video 2, maybe the first day. Maybe they have to do a to-do list before they actually go to video number 3. So what we found over the years is, yes, it can be annoying to some people. And a lot of people get annoyed by that because they are expecting all the videos at one time. But by giving them all the videos at one time, they don't realize that it actually goes against their success. So if you are going to do drip feeding, you may want to mention that in your introduction video and say, look, we've created this course to ensure that you have a high rate of success, that you are able to implement everything that we're going to teach you. So that's something to keep in mind. So like I said, a lot of people get annoyed by that, but like I said, in reality, your students are more likely to implement what you tell them if you space things out. So instead of giving everything on day 1, you can spread it out. Now, the nice thing about LearnDash and other WordPress plugins is a lot of them enable you to drip feed. That's a very standard option these days. Now, you really need to weigh things out. Is that something you really need? Because if your course is very simple, maybe you don't need that. But if it's highly technical, a lot of times you will need that. So that's just something to bear in mind. Knowing your audience is key. So if your audience, let's say, for example, is a lot of newbies, you want to make sure that you space things out. So now what I want to do is jump on over to LearnDash and show you around and show you the drip feeding feature and how to go about implementing that. Okay, so drip feeding your content is very easy to implement. All you have to do is simply go to your course. In this case, we have philosophy. You want to go to your builder, and underneath your builder, you're going to have different lessons. So this is one lesson. This is lesson 2. And within the lessons, we have 2 different topics for each. So let's say we want to release this immediately, and then we want to release this maybe 2 days later. So this one, we don't have to do anything because this is what they see first. This one will have to delay it by 2 days. To do that, it's really easy to do. You just click edit like that. And what that will do is it'll go into that particular lesson. And we want to go to settings. And if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, it's going to say lesson release schedule. So this is the drip feed option. You can either have the lesson be made available immediately. So by default, they're all going to be made available immediately. It says here, the lesson will be available X days after course enrollment, or the lesson will be available on a specific date. So specific date, the only time that you would use that is if you would have like a live class kind of thing. So most of you would use something like the enrollment based. So if we want to delay it by 2 days, you would simply enter 2 days like so, and that's it. So when you're done, you simply click update here, and that's it. So that's what you're going to want to do if you take a look at the map per se. So we got videos 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say that the individual videos are topics that are in 2 different lessons. So videos 1 and 2 are in lesson number 1, and 3 and 4 are in lesson number 2. So what we can do there is looking at the map, we see what we need to do, and we simply implement that. So if we have like a third lesson, you would simply go to that lesson like we did here and simply click on enroll based and do it 2 days later. So let's say we have 3 different lessons. So one is immediately, the second one is 2 days later, and the third one, let's do 4 days later, because you need to start it after the course enrollment. So that's just something to keep in mind as you implement the drip feed system. And that's it. That's all you have to do. Hello, this is video number 7, and let's talk about engagement. So it's a known fact that people buy courses, but in order to get them to stay, you need to engage them. Now, there are 2 ways to do this. Number 1, the first way is to add quizzes to engage directly with your students. So as we discussed when we mapped things out, remember in video number 3, we created a quiz, but we want to make sure that it's short, it's sweet, it's to the point, and it doesn't take too long. Now, you have to think, does my audience like quizzes? Because some people get overwhelmed by quizzes. So this is all about you knowing your audience better than me. So if that's the case, you may not want to do quizzes. The second way is to have a community. People will stay longer when they don't feel that they are alone. A lot of times people pay more money to be part of a community. So if you don't have quizzes, you definitely want to have a community. Now, you can achieve this by creating a forum. And you can actually do this within LearnDash. So you can do both. You can do quizzes and forums. Now, let's discuss how to go about doing this, all right? So to create a quiz, all you have to do is simply click on quizzes, and this is the quizzes section. You can either create a new quiz or you can edit an existing one. Now, as you can see, you can create the quiz, you can assign it to an author, you can assign it to a course. Each quiz will have a unique shortcode that you can simply copy and paste that into a page. Now, let's just click on edit here for the sake of showing you a populated quiz. And we can see quiz page. It says final quiz like that. So that's just the basics. And then we click on settings. And this allows you to add it to an associated course, associated lesson. You can have quiz prerequisites. And you can have a passing score. Now, bear in mind, like I said earlier, if this is a group of people that may get overwhelmed if they get the quiz wrong and they can't move forward, that's something that you need to take into consideration. So if the passing score is 80 and your student continues to take the quiz, but they keep on getting like a 50, that could create a problem. So maybe you just want to do a fun quiz and do a passing score of 0, for example, or 10, something low. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now we've got a quiz certificate, so you can create certificates for that particular quiz. So for example, if this were an exam for something, you could give them a certificate for completing that exam. So obviously, if that was the case, you can definitely up the passing score to something higher. And of course, once you create your quiz, and that's pretty self-explanatory, but once you do that, you can simply add it to the course builder, and that's it. Now, of course, the second option is to create a community with, it could be a forum or it could be a commenting system. So to do that, you will need to have an add-on. If you go to LearnDash add-ons under third party, you will want to install the BuddyPress for LearnDash. So it says BuddyPress for LearnDash integrates the LearnDash LMS plugin with BuddyPress so that you can add groups, forums, members activity to your courses. So you'll need to install that. And then next, what you want to do is you want to go to groups. You want to create a new group, name the group here, add a description, and then you simply scroll down and you can assign the admin. It says enable. If you enable this, automatically group enrollment when a user enrolls into a course. So you can say anybody who takes a specific course will be automatically added to this group. Now, when you create a group, you can automatically install, delete that, delete. Right here, you can specify, okay, these are courses that have access to a certain group. So like I mentioned earlier, if you want to have one group for all of the classes, you can simply add all of these right here. Now, if you want to have an individual group that is focused for biology, a different group for chemistry, economics, and so forth and so on, you can do that individually as well. Now, after that, you can assign a admin and the users. Now, LearnDash, like I said earlier, provides a lot of information on how to set up forums, how to do all these different types of features that you might want to do. So with that said, let's move on to the next video. So it's a fact, selling courses online is a great business model, but the problem is getting your course set up and ready to be sold and ready to be consumed by your students. Now, there are a variety of solutions to creating a learning environment for your customers. These range from $97 per month SaaS platforms all the way down to WordPress plugins. Now, here's the truth. Not everyone wants to be stuck with an online platform that they don't own. And maybe you want to use WordPress because you already have a WordPress site. So what if there was a way to set up your online course on your WordPress site, and a site that you own, and that can never be shut down? I want to introduce you to a brand new 8-part step-by-step video course on how to set up an engaging online course on your WordPress site. Now, if you're concerned about technical aspects and you might be not tech savvy at all, don't worry. This is a simple watch over my shoulder, step-by-step, click-by-click video course. So here's a quick overview of what's inside this video course. Video number 1 is the introduction. We'll talk about a brief overview of the course and an idea of what you need to have to get started. Video number 2, we'll talk about a big overlooked problem and a big reason why a lot of potential students and customers come in to courses and never complete a course, which is something that most people never think about. Because the reality is, if you can get people to consume your whole course, they're most likely going to consume your other courses. Video number 3, we'll talk about the experience. This is also another big overlooked issue. The experience that your students have from the beginning to the end is crucial. Video number 4, we'll talk about different WordPress learning management system plugins that are available to you. Video number 5, we'll talk about our recommended WordPress LMS plugin that we highly recommend. And video number 6, we'll talk about the consumption boost. So you'll kind of get an idea that in this course, our goal is not just to set up the online course and to sell it, but to get people to consume it and not become overwhelmed. So we'll talk about that in video number 6, how to increase that percentage. Video number 7, we'll talk about engagement, how to engage with your students and get them to stay, because that's a big, big thing. Video number 8, we'll talk about prestige and fun. In other words, how to get people to feel valued to stay and how to give them a little bit of fun so that they're enjoying the experience. The more fun that they can have, even if the video course is serious, the more that they are going to complete the course. So as you can see here, the theme here is getting people to complete your course by consuming everything. So with that said, go ahead and grab this course now and learn how to set up your highly engaging course today.